Hello, good people of YouTube. We are back, and by back I mean that I finally recorded another dev diary. So hello there. I've been losing my voice, so this may sound a little bit different, but the story I'm going with is I've been trying to record it for so long that vocal cords just decided it was time to take a vacation. But we're just gonna go into it because I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to sustain this. There's a lot of good news to go over. I'm going to try to be a bit more organized with stuff like this because it's just a lot to say. So it's going to be a little bit more formal. That doesn't mean a script or anything like that. It just means I have to get through certain points because you're going to understand why as I explain some of this stuff. So here we go. Alright. We're going to be talking about YouTube first and foremost because we did it. Everybody, we finally did it. We hit 1K. We actually are above 1K because people are still subscribing, and that's the type of energy that I appreciate. And I was hung up on what to do for that 1K subscriber special because I really don't have much that I could do right now. I could do some wacky stuff or things like that, but I want to do something a little more engaging with you guys. So I'm thinking, and it's probably going to be the way it goes, I'm going to do a, I guess like a questionnaire sort of thing where you guys can leave some comments, ask me questions, do whatever. It could be about anything in the world, and I'll try and answer them. Obviously, don't expect to ask about things like, how long do I sit on a toilet? Well, actually, I might answer that question because it depends. Wait, hold on. Well, I'm not going to answer those hard-pressed questions yet. You give me the questions, I'll answer them, I'll do my best, and all I could say is thank you everybody who's been supporting the channel. Everybody I see people sharing stuff on Twitter, I see people leaving comments, engaging with the poll that I put out and stuff like that. Well, I didn't put out a poll, but I put out an announcement, so I appreciate all that stuff. And most importantly, I appreciate the people watching the actual videos, because you could engage all you want, but if you ain't watching the videos, you're not really engaging. So thank you to everybody. We did it, and hopefully, we can grow into something, and we keep going up. It's always, we're not at the very top yet, where we have to worry about going down. We can still keep going up. So we keep it positive, we keep it moving. Thank you, everybody. And likely that in this video, you can just leave comments down and also make a community post about what type of questions you want to ask, things like that. And I'll probably do a follow-up video with those answers. I'll give it a week, maybe give it 2 weeks, depends. I want to make sure I don't throw anybody off here, and that they get to answer or get to ask their questions so that I can answer them. So that's good. Thank you, everybody. That's the first big one that we got to go over. All right. Okay. So now let's move on to the next one. If you've seen me on Twitter, or you've seen me on Knockout, or you've seen me on Discord, you probably already know this news, but it's pretty big, and everybody's got to know it. All right. I think I've been talking about this for about half a year now, but I've finally gotten some good news in that we are basically we have legal permission to continue the project. We're not going to get shut down on the SDK. We're not going to get shut down on the co-op mod, despite the reverse engineering aspects. Now, obviously, I can't get into too much specifics. Right now, I'm going to be in talks with the development team over at Ubisoft, and we're going to be going over, the guidelines, the, contingencies that go with releasing this, and what I am and am not allowed to do. Guidelines. But it's just such a big milestone to be able to have that, especially if you look at the news, you see, Valve took down those projects. And then there's like some legal limbo for Team Fortress 2 Classic and Open Fortress. And then just recently, Valve put out that statement about their stance on modding and how they're not going to give source code out or things like that. And they're basically putting out security updates and things like that are killing some Counter-Strike Global Offensive mods. This is big news for us. For us to get that permission and for us to still be able to proceed and be able to still work with Ubisoft on stuff like this is great news. Now, it's all good news. Everybody's been really supportive there. I got nothing to say in any bad faith to anyone over at anyone's company or anything like that. My fears come down to those guidelines, but they are really just sort of side fears, if anything else. They're just like, you know, little ghosts that are floating around. They're not harming anybody, but they are there, and it could be a little scary if you walk in there. But to me, you know, given the tone of the general discussions that I've had with every rank of Ubisoft, Arcane, Valve about this project, everybody seems very supportive about it. You know, they seem accepting of it. I don't think that this is really going to hurt us in any way with those guidelines saying, yes, you must now pay us or something, or like, oh yeah, you can release the SDK, but only if it has all these things removed from it, which would prevent it from being useful. I think that all that stuff is, you know, we don't have to worry about stuff like that. At best, you know, my speculation here, and this is speculation, I'm going to underline it's speculation, you know, they're most likely going to prevent us from being able to release this SDK in a way that you wouldn't need the game, which is perfectly fine, because I would never have released an SDK for a game that has no source code access without you already owning the game. You know, that is piracy, and we don't pirate anything here. We're not like that. So, you know, that's nothing to worry about there. That's most likely where I think it'll entail. But that, again, this is just me as a developer speaking, and, you know, having respect for the property. That has nothing to do with anything I've been told yet. And, you know, hopefully I'll have better news, or more specific news rather, as I go forward, and we have those talks. But yeah, I thank everybody for the patience on this. You know, it's been a long half year, and it's just something that actually it's been over a half a year, but it's been a very long time, and you know, the patience is appreciated. But you know, now that we're cranking through this, we're actually starting to get there. I can actually start thinking about, okay, well, how will I handle, you know, release, closed beta, things like that, and then open it up to the public. So that's really good news. And this is going to be a little longer on that part, but it is just that good news. And I really wanted to stress that out. And I want to thank everybody involved. They're not probably not watching this video, but I want to make sure I thank, you know, everybody at Ubisoft, the Ubisoft support team. Again, people at Arcane, the ex-people at Arcane that I spoke to. You know, the people at Valve. It's just there's so many people that I was talking to over this to make this possible so far. And then of course the community for supporting this project. You know, because, you know, it's one thing to say, hey, I'm a modder who I've been working on this thing for like 3 years now. Give me some permission here. And then for me to also say, hey, I'm a modder, I've been working on this for 3 years, and I've got all these people who are excited for this project. Look over here. Like, if it's not just me, it's also you, because your presence feeds my ability to ask for things. So again, let's thank everybody involved. Everybody gets a thank you. We're gonna go Oprah Winfrey on this. If you don't already know that joke, then you should Google it. Alright, so we're done with that one. Okay, so now we're gonna go into, I guess, recap of what I've been doing. This is a good time to switch that section over. So, well, you know, it's been we've been working hard for the past, you know, few months on stuff that I set those goals forward, and you know, we've been really trying to hit those goals to get, I guess, more things showing up, and so we could put some things on the YouTube, some cool stuff, all things like that. And you know, we hit some problems down the way. So I'm gonna start with the SDK stuff. SDK stuff is actually probably the easiest thing to go with. So, you know, the last video I said my goal was gonna be for the end of April. Let's get a custom weapon in there. Let's get let's work on the co-op mod and stuff like that. Like, that's gonna be the SDK side of it. And oh Lord, was that underselling the difficulty of what that was going to be. There was a lot of stuff that needed to be done to get custom entities in there, in a realm like that actually worked reliably. Number one. Number two was 100% custom. So I did make a video a while back about custom entities and stuff like that, and how we managed to get a box in there. And this was when I was just alone. But that box still derived from, you know, what already existed. We couldn't really go too far in the custom aspects of it. So, you know, say for example, you want to make a variant of the health potion. It would still work like the health potion, but it may do something slightly different. That would be the sort of edit that you would be able to do. This is a bad example because you could make variants of the health potion that are completely unique, but I think that that's the best way to understand it, because you have an item that gives you health, and then you see the health go up, right? That's the function. The variation would be you have an item that can give you half your health and regenerate another half health. You see, it derives from the original function, but it's yeah, you know, it doesn't go fully custom. You can't make a health potion that drinks. It doesn't give you any health. It explodes into a phoenixy flame, and then you can't do that before, but now you can. And this was such a long process with so many things going wrong and so many things going right that I'm gonna put this in a separate video. Honestly, I think I've got a 2 or 3-parter coming along that I'm gonna split off into like 10-minute videos, where I'm gonna talk about every piece of aspect that I had to go through to get this done. Because when I went to a Discord and asked for help, I either got no response, or I quote, I got a response saying, "Yikes." Not because they knew, but because they didn't know, but they did know how difficult it was. And so I didn't get any help. This was 100% Alex and I, and you know, I am hoping that with the work that we just put in, we'll be able to actually, you know, people who try something similar to this in the Source engine, God with them, we'll be able to actually provide some help with the sort of documentation that I'd like to put out eventually as this project gets further and I finish discussing that stuff with Ubisoft. So yeah, I'm gonna put that in a separate video on its own, but it was a real mess, and I'm really happy to announce that we do have the ability to make fully custom entities. I'm talking rendering, I'm talking physics, I'm talking you know, networking. We got it all. You could literally and this is theoretical, but I believe you could probably pluck actual things from the Half-Life 2 SDK and just put it right into Dark Messiah, with little tweaks obviously, because there are some minor engine changes, but you could probably get away with doing that. Although granted, we haven't gotten far enough to add custom weapons, because as I've discussed before, there are custom classes with things like this, but it is definitely possible for right now. If you wanted to add like a grenade or something like that, you could probably get away with it. That doesn't mean we're done yet. We're gonna keep hauling in and doing it and getting all those classes in so that you could get those stuff in. Remember that I was going to try and add, you know, NPCs and stuff like that. So there is a path. We just need to walk down it. You know, it's just gonna be a long walk, but we will get there eventually. So that's what's important. And I'll keep everybody posted as much as I can on stuff like that. So that's good stuff there. Now, on the topic of like the SDK in regards to the co-op mod, and just I'm also gonna bundle this with the animation stuff, because those are two sort of things that work with the co-op mod. Starting with the animations, this one's easy. You know, Riddick's been working hard, and I did say I wanted to give him a goal to try and get some custom models and custom armors and things like that, so we can get started with some better showy videos in the co-op mod. But you know, he's been busy. He's been working on the animations. He's been pumping them out as he can, and I can't ask anything of him. You know, this is a man who works very hard. He's got school. He's got work. He's got no pay for doing this, so you know, we should we all respect each other here, and we understand we're doing this out of love for the project. So it's absolutely no problems. You know, it takes a little bit long. I would rather it take longer and it look good than it be short and you pump it out. You know, we're not working in a horrible game studio here. We're doing this because we want to do it, so it's important that we treat it that way, and we really take that time out, and we just, you know, we put the passion into it. You know, we let it not burn us out. So that's what's going on with the animations. Now on the co-op mod side, unfortunately, because I was working so hard on the SDK trying to get those custom entities in, I wasn't able to do much with the co-op side, and that really was the product of me having to do a lot of I guess teaching for Alex. That's not to say Alex is incompetent, please God. Don't waste time with thinking stuff like that. It's more so because, you know, as I said when we first started working with Alex, he is new to reverse engineering. He's picking it up. Honestly, he may be picking it up faster than I picked it up. But you know, it's still, you know, certain things that he's still a little iffy on, and so that's why I wanted to make sure I took that time to carefully explain it to him, so that when I do pull off to go work back on the co-op mod, he is in sync, and he will be able to do it completely on his own, which he is. We will. I'm going to be focusing more on the co-op mod now, given the news with Ubisoft, stuff like that, and trying to think about that closed beta sort of testing. And I will be giving Alex the reins here and let him go, and he's going to be able to add that stuff up to a certain point, so we get those custom entities with weapons and those more complex to cooler stuff. But I'm hoping that I can get a video up with the the cool sort of custom entities that we can get, and sort of how it pertains to the co-op mod, because the co-op mod, yeah, it hasn't been working worked on, rather. It works fine, I should say that. But with a lot of the stuff that we've learned with the SDK as we were adding custom entities, it pretty much opened the door to have better implementations of things in the co-op mod that we do. I want to revisit, because it's one thing, again, it's one thing to get the thing working, but it's another thing to actually be able to get it working well enough that you can't tell the difference. And that is just the end goal here. I want to make this look as natural as possible. I want to fool people, people who are just born. I want to gaslight them to believing there was always a co-op mod in Dark Messiah. How dare you? Or a co-op mode, not a mod. If it's a gaslight, they got to believe it was 100% there. But yeah, that's that's sort of the news on the co-op mod. It's going to be worked on, and we're going to be hopefully getting that out for closed beta sooner than later. Now that we actually have some actual, like, we can see it in the distance, no longer just a mirage. It is really there. We're moving towards that. And I think that is the end of everything I have to say. I can feel my voice has died out after this. So I thank everybody. What can I say? I thank everybody for listening and putting up with this. People supporting the channel, people leaving the comments, all that stuff. We're gonna do that questionnaire for the 1,000 subscriber special, I guess. And you leave a comment asking whatever questions you want. I'm gonna also put up that community announcement or whatever on YouTube, and also ask in Discord, and maybe even on Twitter. Yeah, might as well. Make sure all the ground is covered. And I will be answering that in the next video after a few weeks. But in the meanwhile, I'll be doing those like interspersed sort of discussions on the SDK. I'll continue working on the co-op mod, keep you guys updated with everything with Ubisoft. And again, we're in such a good place right now. Thank everybody for the subscribers, all that stuff. We're moving forward. Let's keep moving forward. Just keep it positive. I'm not stressed out about anything going on right now. We're in such a good place. So neither should you. Should all be relaxed, taking it easy, and just coasting along on good vibes. That's all we got to do. And you know what? That's how you should be going through life. There's a lot of terrible things in life going on. So sometimes you just got to take the wins. You gotta walk out and enjoy life. Enjoy the good things that are coming at you. So I wish you all those good vibes. I'm gonna go back, rest my voice a little bit. And hopefully it's not dead for the next video. We'll see what happens. But thank you, everybody. And just have a good one. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.